Let's find the value of the following derivative. To begin with, we will start by considering u to be equals to inverse tangent of cosine of x divided by sine of x plus 1, and we'll take v to be equals to secant inverse of x. Our goal will be to determine derivative of u with respect to v, but for that we need derivative of u with respect to x as well as derivative of v with respect to x. So let's begin by finding derivative of u with respect to x, but to begin with, we'll try to simplify the expression on the right hand side. So here, let's use an identity. We know from the half angle formula, cosine of x is actually given by cosine squared x over 2 minus sine squared x over 2. Similarly, the half angle formula for sine x all gives us 2 times sine of x over 2 times cosine of x over 2. Now this is done because if we consider the numerator, which is 1 plus sine x, that means we have, let's add 1 to both sides, we have sine of x plus 1, that will be equals to 2 times sine of x over 2 times cosine of x over 2 plus 1. Now in place of 1 on the right hand side, we can use the identity. So we have 2 times sine of x over 2 times cosine of x over 2 plus the identity will be cosine squared x over 2 plus sine squared x over 2. That value is always equals to 1. And in doing so, what we can do, we can rewrite it as sine of x over 2 plus cosine of x over 2 whole square. Now for the cosine of x1, if we use a squared minus b squared, so this will be equals to cosine of x over 2 minus sine of x over 2. So this will get multiplied to cosine of x over 2 plus sine of x over 2. So let's replace cosine of x with this particular expression in the numerator and sine of x plus 1 with this particular expression in the denominator. So that means our function u will then become equals to inverse tangent of, so in the numerator we have cosine of x over 2 minus sine of x over 2 whole multiplied to cosine of x over 2 plus sine of x over 2 divided by the denominator, which is cosine of x over 2 plus sine of x over 2 whole square. Now when doing so, what we can do, we can immediately cancel out cosine of x over 2 plus sine of x over 2 from the numerator as well as from the denominator. This now leaves us with u equals to tangent inverse of cosine of x over 2 minus sine of x over 2 divided by cosine of x over 2 plus sine of x over 2, which is equals to tangent inverse of, now what we'll do, we'll divide the numerator and the denominator with cosine of x over 2. So that will give us 1 minus tangent of x over 2 divided by 1 plus tangent of x over 2, which will be equals to tangent inverse of. So all of this trigonometric simplification has been covered in detail in my trigonometry playlist. I urge you to go to that particular playlist, and if you are having trouble working with trigonometry and inverse trig function, then please make sure to follow that particular playlist in order to fully understand or grasp this particular idea that we are working with. Right. Now in place of 1, I will replace it with tangent of pi over 4, because we know that tangent of pi over 4 is simply equals to 1 minus tangent of x over 2 divided by 1 plus tangent of x over 2 multiplied to, we can write tangent of x over 2 multiplied to 1, such that in place of 1 we can replace it with tangent of pi over 4. So all this has been done because we know that if we use tangent of a plus b, that's equals to tangent of a plus, here we have minus, let's say plus or minus tangent of b divided by 1 minus plus tangent of a times tangent of b. So in our case here, a is pi over 4 and b is x over 2. So that means we can rewrite the following expression as u equals to tangent inverse of tangent of a minus b. So here a is pi over 4 minus b, b is x over 2. Now tangent inverse of tangent of pi over 4 minus x over 2 is simply u equals to pi over 4 minus x over 2. So this is the simplified form of our u. Now what we can do, we can finally take its derivative with respect to x. So it's a very simple derivative which will give us pi over 4 equals to 0, and derivative of negative x over 2 will be negative half. So let's label this as number 1. Now what we'll do, we will go back to our expression for v. So v is given by secant square x. So let's come back. So v is given by secant inverse of x. So we'll take the derivative of v with respect to x, and this is a standard formula, which is 1 divided by x multiplied to x squared minus 1. So let's label this as number 2. So now that we have 1 and 2, we are ready to find out derivative of u with respect to v, which is simply derivative of u with respect to x divided by derivative of v with respect to x. That gives us negative 1 multiplied to x times square root of x squared minus 1. Or simply we can say that derivative of u with respect to v comes out to be equals to negative of x multiplied to x squared minus 1 whole divided by 2. So this is the value of the following derivative.